Hello and welcome back. This, ladies and gents, is called a WIP, a WIP. That is a work in progress. This is my book, my journal of stitchery that I'm doing along with Roxy's Creations. So I've made a hardback, I've covered a hardback book, was an old Reader's Digest. I stitched in as many signatures as I needed for the whole month. She gives us a prompt once a month, and we take that prompt and we create the page. So I haven't even begun to decorate my cover yet, which I will. I did put this on my inside page, but I did not do this stitching. This is something I picked up at a thrift shop. It was part of a big piece, and I cut it apart because that was so pretty. So this is going to be my title page here whenever, that's the next thing I'm going to work on. And I'm not sure here and here just yet. I'll do something. These are my sample pages. So this is all my sample stitching. I hope you can see that. I'm not sure if it's in focus or not. Okay, so I did two running stitches, and there's a whipped running stitch, a back stitch, a stem stitch, a split stitch, cross stitch, seed stitch, French knot, colonial knot, and pistol stitch on this page. And I took a single thread and wrote my words in there. And when I first started, it was just turning out so wonky. And then I decided I liked it. So I kind of went with that. So I did some capitals, some lowercase. They're just all kind of wonky looking stitches. It's my book and I liked it. On this sample page, I've got a chain stitch, lazy daisy, satin stitch, herringbone, fly stitch, bullion knot, couching, blanket stitch, and weaving. And then once I stitched that in, I just stitched it around into the page. So I already had the page in there like that. So I just stitched it to the page. On the back, I left this one blank because I've got one more page of sampler stitches that I want to do and put that there. But this is January. So this is our prompt for January. We were to use vintage linens and bouncing bunny. I think it was vintage linens and bouncing bunny is how she worded that. This is some vintage lace that I dyed with some alcohol inks and turned out so pretty. I was very happy with it. My bunny idea I got from Karen, and I don't know how you say her last name, Pleass, Pleasse, maybe, something like that. She's awesome. She is a textile artist. And I just saw that on, what was that, on Pinterest. And I thought, oh, I like her little bunny. So there's my bunny. He's got a little cottontail and he's got a little bitty pink nose. And I just added some metallic beads. I wanted it to look like there was flowers hanging and like he had stopped to smell them or something. And so I've got French knot flowers. I've got all kinds of stitching. There's my January stitched in there. And then I added some clear sequins with clear seed beads just to give it a little more sparkle. And then I put this vintage lace down at the bottom, and I put little white French knots on top of that. And that's to just represent a little picket fence, like he's behind the picket fence. And as you can see, I left everything roughly, ravelly. I like it. That's just, I'm going to go with it. Okay, here is February. February was neutral backgrounds and bright flowers. So this piece right here is something I had done on my machine a while back, and I did free motion stitching, wrote the word bloom, and then I took my fabric paint pens and I painted this and kind of blended it a little, and I thought that's going to be my focal point. So there's that. This is just a piece of a vintage doily. Some white sequins I put inside there with the clear seed beads. Some bullion flowers with some seed beads. And this little snippet and this little snippet is another piece of that fabric that I make where I take a background. This one, I believe my background was muslin. And I just start adding fibers and burlap and threads and fuzzy wuzzies and whatever. And then I put a piece of tulle over the top of it, took it to my sewing machine, and free motion stitched over it just to hold it all down. And then I just cut off little snippets as I go, that I want to use. And here's a piece of Aida cloth. So I just wrote my February on that. This gave me fits. I had seen something on YouTube about how to make this flower, and I was using this new satin embroidery, DMC satin. Oh, it's a pain in the bootay, and so I'm not real happy with that. But anyway, and then this is the spiderweb roses in satin also, and again, it was kind of a pain. Anyway, believe it or not, this was my first page. I started with March to get March done, and then I had to back up and catch up with other people because I just started a couple of weeks ago. So March was vintage linens or something. I forgot the background exactly. And butterflies, bright butterflies. No, it's bright flowers. I forgot butterfly. It was butterflies anyway. So I just made my very simple little fabric butterflies. I added some more sequins and seed beads to create these flowers, some French knots. There's my month, March, written in there, and just some seeds and beads and stuff here and there. So the next thing I will do will be April. So on April the 1st, Roxy will give us the prompt for the month of April. And whenever I get that page finished, it'll go right here. So I've got enough to finish out the whole year. And the back of the book, I also put another piece of that vintage embroidery that I had picked up at the thrift shop. And I put that on there for my back. So that's what I've got so far. Like I said, it's a work in progress. I've got a lot to do, but I'm having so much fun with it. So anyway, thanks to Roxy for her great prompts. Thank you guys for watching, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.